learned so much reading Blood Money, especially. Like, it drives it all home. If you heard things, China, precursor drugs, getting to Mexico, and it's just kind of out there, this drives it all home. And if you were ever thinking that, it's just people talking or making assumptions or a theory, no, all annotated right here. Another one is moving the railroad, moving those things up into the United States that had a Chinese relationship. It's absolutely incredible. And also, you say half of the people who die from fentanyl overdoses are young and of military age. One U.S. government official has said this is the equivalent of removing 2 or 3 divisions of Army or Marines off the rolls every year at a time when we're having a recruitment crisis. It's absolutely, it's mind-boggling. And how did the most dangerous drug ever created become a household word in America? What makes the story even more troubling is that many politicians in the highest ranks of our government have access to all of this evidence. They don't even need access to the evidence. It's right here. It's in these books. It's open source for the most part. Imagine what's not open source and classified. Have remained strangely silent about China's deep and direct involvement in unleashing this menace. They have chosen to be willfully ignorant, complicit by indifference. That's great, by the way. They have what Churchill called vacant eyes. I mean, they are letting the equivalent of 2 or 3 divisions of Army or Marines taken off the battlefield essentially every year. Incredible.
Yeah, they are. And some of them do it, as I say, because, look, once you accept the fact of what China's doing and that it's resulting in this many American deaths every year, you can't have a normal relationship with this country. You can't say, well, we're going to worry about cultural exchanges and trade. You have to make this the center point of the relationship. And that's hugely disruptive for a lot of people. So that's part of the problem. There's a lot of go along to get along people in D.C. But then you also have people in both political parties who actually have financial ties that could be at stake, and I'm gonna go ahead and name 2 of them, one from each political party, if that's all right. Yeah. The first one would be Joe Biden's family. Joe Biden. There's been a lot of reporting about Hunter Biden. We kicked that off in 2018. The Bidens have gotten tens of millions of dollars from Chinese entities. Here's the part, though, that I think is particularly relevant when it comes to the fentanyl. In 2017, they admit this, they acknowledge it, they don't dispute it. They got a $5 million forgivable interest-free loan, which they've never repaid, from a guy named Yi, a businessman named Yi, in 2017. What's troubling is that Yi at that time was business partners with a Chinese gang leader named White Wolf. That's the guy's name. White Wolf is the head of the Chinese criminal gang that set up the Sinaloa cartel in the fentanyl trade. And the Sinaloa cartel, they are the kings of fentanyl. They dominate that space. So you literally have a situation where the first family of the United States, there is 1 degree of separation between them and the people that are involved directly and profiting from the fentanyl trade. So, my question is, do they really want to have a conversation about Chinese involvement in the fentanyl trade? I don't think so. It's deeply embarrassing, and it comes very close to their their front door. So it's what they call in Washington an optics problem. The second person I would look at would be Mitch McConnell, senator from Kentucky, the leader of the Republicans in the Senate. His family has a shipping business, and back in 1993, he, as a senator, and his wife and father-in-law visited with the Chinese, and the Chinese State Shipbuilding Corporation invited them and basically set them up in a deal. And they said, hey, we'll build all these ships for you. We'll finance the construction of these ships. We'll put the crews in these ships for you, and we'll get you contracts with Chinese state-owned companies, and we'll help build your shipping business, which they did. That creates a problem, though, today, because they now have leverage. If Mitch McConnell were to call out China on this point or any other point that really pissed them off, the Chinese could destroy the shipping business overnight. And everybody involved in that knows it. That's the kind of leverage that they want over American political figures. And unfortunately, too many of them are worried about the money in their pocket or the optics of how it looks, rather than the actual people, Americans, that are being targeted and dying because of this.
It's a good thing that the voters have short memories. You cite in here Joe Biden talking in the 90s about China, and then all of a sudden becomes strangely silent on it as time goes on. Same thing with John Kerry. You cite him in the book as well. Things he said in the past, and has become strangely silent on that as well. I guess they saw a lot of catch up over there, perhaps. But it's all in here. If you enjoyed that clip, watch the full episode here, or another clip here.